So today's question is, how much money can you actually make as a thumbnail designer? So for those of you that are new here, my name is Ardi. I make thumbnails. I make a full-time income as a thumbnail designer, usually around $4,000 to $6,000 per month, and I work part-time hours. And you can find proof about that down in the description. You'll find a link with invoices and stuff like that. That will prove to you that I've been doing this for a while. I've worked with more than 100 channels. I've made more than 11,000 thumbnails at this point. And I'm going to explain how much money you can actually make realistically as a thumbnail designer. So it all comes down to two simple things: how much you're charging per thumbnail and how much time it takes you to make one thumbnail. Now, I personally work with prepaid packages from anywhere from $150 to $250 for 10 thumbnails. That's the minimum package that I work with. These are prepaid, okay, so the client pays before I even deliver anything. And I do larger packages than that, but the lowest that I usually go for one thumbnail is about $15 in packages, okay? So I never charge for one single package. Now, some of you might say that that's, too little, and I understand that, but the truth is that I actually make more than 10%, more than what the top 10% of US graphic designers actually make, and I'm going to explain the math. The thing is that most people focus just on the price and they don't focus on the time that they're investing on something. So let's say that you have two different barbers, okay? One of them charges $20 for a haircut that takes him half an hour, so that's $40 per hour. And there's another one that charges $20 per hour, $20 per haircut, but it only takes him 20 minutes to do one haircut, okay? On average, those are averages. So his hourly rate comes down to about $60 per hour. So you have one that they both charge the same, but one of them, because he's able to do the work faster, makes on average $40 per hour, while the other one makes $60 per hour. And it's the same thing with thumbnails, okay? If you charge $200 for one thumbnail that takes you 8 hours to make, that's still $25 per hour. I personally charge anywhere from $15 to $25 per thumbnail in prepaid packages, and I usually don't spend more than 20 minutes on one thumbnail. So I make anywhere from 45 to, let's say, $75 per hour, okay, depending on how much I'm charging per thumbnail. And I'm able to do that because I work only on a specific type, let's say, of thumbnails, or I work only with a specific type of channels. So I'm not like I'm not spreading myself too thin. I'm not focusing on many different niches. I work on a specific set of niches that I understand how to make thumbnails for, and I don't have to make very complex thumbnails because that's what the category of the channels that I work with, that's what they need. They don't need super complex thumbnails, they need effective thumbnails. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on each thumbnail doing, effects and stuff like that, okay? Actually, an effective thumbnail needs a good concept behind it, okay? So the concept is the most important part. All the lightings and, the color effects and the overlays and all of those stuff, they help the thumbnail. In some cases, they help the thumbnail a lot. But unless the concept is right, the thumbnail is not really going to be that effective. So, I said that I make around 4K to 6K per month. Again, you can find proof about that down below. And I usually work around 4 hours per day. So realistically, if you double the amount of work and you work full-time hours, so you work about 4 hours per day, you can realistically double what I'm making with this business. Now, that's going to take some time and it's going to require some planning, because you're gonna have to communicate properly with clients and ask them to send you their thumbnail requests as soon as possible, maybe a week in advance, or so you cannot handle last minute requests, because if you do that, okay, if you offer, let's say, a 24-hour delivery window, a 24-hour turnaround, there will be days that you'll have to work 16 hours in order to deliver all those thumbnails, and then there will be days that you'll only have to do 2 hours of work. So in order to work full-time hours with this, and you don't need to work full-time hours in order to make a full-time income, you're gonna have to do some planning, but it is possible to go up to, let's say, 10, 9, 8, 9, or 10K per month. Some of you might be able to make even more, so you can charge, if you're able to charge like $40 an hour, $40 per thumbnail, and it only takes you like half an hour for each thumbnail, that means you can make on average about $80 per hour. So if you multiply that by 8, that's about $500 per day. Okay, so if you do that all month long, you can make $15,000. Now, again, that's fairly complex and fairly hard. Okay, after some point, after let's say 8 or 9K, to do this comfortably, you'll probably have to hire people. I'm not the best at hiring. I've tried it. I am too much of a perfectionist myself, and I need to check all the thumbnails that go out. So yeah, that hasn't worked for me at all, but it might work for some of you. What I teach my students is a way to run this business as a freelancer and make money for yourself. I don't teach them how to create an agency or how to run an agency with designers. And now that I've said that, you can actually, if you're interested to learn more about this, or if you're more serious about doing this, you can find a link down below. I spent about 6 months creating a step-by-step training, but it's called the Thumbnail Designer Academy. There are already about 100 students in there. It's actually a community hosted in a platform called School, and in there is the training. It's about 10 hours of content, so and 46 lessons. So it's everything that I know, from how to make effective thumbnails to how to find and close clients and scale the business. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.